to this. We'll be talking about that in a minute. So try to add as many blossoms as you can and at the end of your the file that I'm going to send to you, you'll see the finished product of this. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to draw a few more blossoms just to show you how to go about this. So then, because with watercolor we always start with our background, and hopefully with yours, let's see, look at this. You'll have a lot of flowers and branches over there. I'm going to pick out a nice color for my background, and I'm going to be inspired by, by this beautiful screen here. I think I'm going to go with kind of a yellow for my background color. You could choose blue. You could choose green. Let's see. And with watercolor, remember it always helps to have a little tester piece of paper so you know how your colors are coming out. I'm not going to worry too much about how I'm getting my palette dirty because I can always wipe it out later. And you can use this part of your palette for color mixing too, as long as you wipe it out when you're done. So I'm going to see if I can make like a sort of a gold color. Oh, that's kind of nice. And so I'm going to go ahead with a nice big brush, paint my background in. So I mixed some brown and yellow and orange together to get this color, mostly yellow and orange. And getting my background in. It's okay if maybe there's some variation in your background colors because the sky itself varies during the day in terms of the different shades of color that it is. Let's get this. So notice that I'm creating what we call a wash of color. And I'm working relatively quickly so that it ends up nice and even. Oops. It's okay if I go over the branches a little bit because I'm going to go over those in a darker color. So your piece hopefully will be all filled up, so you want to think about going all the way across. Working relatively quickly. If your tape might kind of resist the water a little bit, ideally I should have painted this on the back so that I didn't have to worry about my tape. I know that's what you'll do.
Or you put the tape on the back.
Yes, put the tape on the back. So once I have my background in, you can add your branches and try to really study your branch. You'll notice that this color of brown isn't really very accurate to the brown that we see in nature, so I usually add a little black to it to kind of tone it down. So I'm mixing on my piece of paper. You can also mix over here. So once you have, I'm actually probably going to add a little more black than I am brown, and maybe even a little purple. And then I'm going to start painting the branches. And you can see they're coming up a little bit light next to my background color, so I might have to go over them again. But that actually might be a good thing in that I can use this as the place where the light is hitting my branch. So then I'm going to go back and add more black and a little more purple. at the parts of my branch that are darker. You might have to wait till it dries to do that, but I am able to get some darker areas. You'll notice when you study your branch there's some darker areas to it and some lighter areas. I'm starting at the base of my branch and then adding more delicate branches as I go up, which is how branches start out thicker and they get thinner as you go along. I'm going to move this just so I can get that on there. So once you feel like you have your branches on nicely, you might have to let them dry before you add more detail to them. And then I'm going to paint my blossoms. So you might think, oh, I don't have pink on my palette here, but as you know with watercolor, the more water you add, the lighter your colors get. So I'm just, ooh, I got some orange in there. So I'm going to mix a nice kind of pink here just by adding a lot of water. So this is a piece of watercolor paper that I'm doing this on. And then I'm just going to go in and start adding the pink of my blossoms. I have some nice pencil lines in there that I might leave because they're really defining where the blossoms are. I might, once it dries, go back and add more detail. I'm getting some brighter pink on there. So there'll be areas on your blossom that you'll notice are darker pink and areas that are lighter. You can also, if you might have picked a tree that has yellow blossoms, that's fine too. And then there's usually a little bit of green on your blossom where it connects with the branch. So really study your blossoms and really see that sort of greenish moment where it connects to your branch. And you can mix it up. You could have some three-dimensional blossoms and some flatter blossoms. Once you're finished with your whole piece, you can fold it like an accordion, maybe every couple inches, so that it will stand up like a screen. And you can put it on your desk, you can hang it on your wall, and even though we're not together, we can all be enjoying cherry blossoms together here